Well, the NFC West is a lot of good teams in there, primarily the Rams and Niners and the Seahawks, maybe. But the Seahawks, I believe, have a chance to win the division. And I'm going to explain my 5 reasons I believe the Seahawks can win the division. It's football time. Alrighty, what's going on? Welcome back to the All Around Sports Podcast for sports, everything on this channel. I'm your host Antonio. Today we're doing a talk about the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks recently let go of Noah Fant in a release, which I was surprised he wasn't traded to get some depth back. But he saved the Seahawks about $8.95 million because if he would have gotten injured, that's what we would have had to pay him. And now that opened up the Seahawks cap space to $37.5 million in cap space. So I'm going to do a top 5 list that I believe of my top 5 reasons the Seattle Seahawks can come out of the NFC West as champions next year. Now remember, in a division prediction I had a while ago, I had the Seahawks winning the division. I'm going to revisit that one final time before the season starts because we saw a lot of insane moves that, later on in the offseason that were not expected. But before we get started in this video, if you guys do enjoy this video, do me a favor and smash that button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. For now, let's talk about the Seahawks on why they can win the West. Off, and my number 5 reason is Clint Kubiak's familiarity with Sam Darnold. Now, for those of you that don't know, Clint Kubiak was the offensive coordinator in San Francisco the same year that Darnold was there, before Darnold went and eventually had a breakout year in Minnesota. Now, I know not a lot of people are high on Sam Darnold. Believe me, I know. But Sam Darnold is familiar with Clint Kubiak and his schemes. And the offensive core, I believe, has enough to surround him, but I'm going to get into that in a little bit. But when I look at Darnold, if he played the way that he played in Minnesota, and he can bring that to the Seattle Seahawks, I do believe that they can win the division because Darnold, it all leads on the offensive line. It was the offensive line that led him last year. That was not fully sustained. But this year, I'm hoping the Seahawks offensive line is going to be a lot better, which is why I have Darnold and Kubiak's familiarity at number 5. Coming in at number 4 is the Seahawks' improved offensive line. We all know the move they made in the draft, drafting Bryce Calabdu, that Richmond guy from Iowa, and also Gray Zabel. But they're still looking for an offensive guard, which they now have the money if they want to go after an offensive guard in free agency, like a Brandon Sheriff, maybe some other guys out there I can't think of at the moment. If they can go out there and get another offensive guard, I do believe they'll be set. Because the offensive line, we all know, was not the best side of the Seahawks last year. When Geno Smith was on the squad, he was not doing not much right, and because of the offensive line. If the offensive line is going to be better this year, they not only have to be better on the side of the ball in Abraham Lucas and Charles Cross, but it also has to depend on what the Seahawks are going to do with that $37.5 million. I do believe that they should go after another offensive guard to add on to their offensive line depth, just to make sure that we are sold on the offensive line. But that's why I have the improved offensive line at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is Mike McDonald's second year in the NFL as a head coach. Now, when he was with the Baltimore Ravens, the year before was not the brightest defense. I believe, if I remember correctly, I think they ranked like 15th or 13th. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But after that first year, he led the Ravens to have a number 1 defense in the NFL. And when I look at the Seattle Seahawks, the only category that they ranked outside of the top 15 in was the run defense. That's only going to get better with the additions that they have made, including the 2 undrafted free agents in Cam Alexander from UTSA and Justin Rogers from Auburn, who was on a few practice squads. But Mike McDonald he's always known for his second year improvements. And when I look at the Seattle's defense this year, which I'm going to explain more on that later, I see them being a top 10 unit in the NFL. Maybe even top 5 if we're lucky. But that's why I have Mike McDonald's second year at number 3. Coming in at number 2, I have talented offensive weapons. Now, I know we let go Noah Fant, but he wasn't really producing for our side. I know we lost DK and Lockett. I get that. But we got some good pieces to replace them. We went out there and got Cooper Kupp from the Rams. We went out there and got Troy Horton in the draft. We also got a few other pieces in the draft. But if we look at the receiver core, you got JSN, Cooper Kupp, MVS, Troy Horton, and then also along with Barner and Arroyo, and then the K9, Charbonnet, Martinez, and McIntosh. And I believe that the Seahawks offensive core is stronger than it was last year because DK, we all know he was kind of like a showboat. Cooper Kupp is not that. And JSN, let me remind you, led all slot receivers in yards last year. And you got two top 10 slot receivers in Cooper Kupp and JSN. And not only that, I've said this, I'm going to say it again. If K9 does go down, I'm not worried at all as much as I was. Because Damian Martinez, the 5th round pick that they picked up, is a bulldozer. He is a bulldozer with bull horns. Because this man is a beast. It takes 5 to 6 guys to bring this man down in college. And he played behind Cam Ward last year. He is a beast. I watched this man during his time at Ohio, Oregon State, and also Miami. This man is the definition of a freight train. That's what this man brings to the table. And I think if Darnold has the protection he needs on the offensive side of the ball, and the offensive side weapons can do what they need to do, I do believe they'll be a top 15 offense in the slightest, maybe even top 10. But that's why I have the offensive line, offensive weapons at number 2. Coming in at number 1, the biggest reason the Seahawks can win the division is the defense. The Seahawks defense, I believe, is the best defense in the NFC West. Now, I know the Rams are in that argument. Niners aren't anywhere near that argument because they let go 6 key defensive weapons. But let me explain. Last year, they ranked 9th in scoring defense. Did you know that? And then not only that, the only outside ranking they ranked in was 16th in the run defense. Did you know that? And then also, on top of it all, you kept most of your guys. You kept Ernest Jones, which a lot of Seahawks fans were polling for at the time, especially me. And now you not only bring in a few different guys to add on to that defense, but you bring in by far one of the best safety prospects we've seen in a long time in Seattle, in Nick Amenware. That man is an amazing product. He is an amazing guy. He's had a lot of comparisons to Seahawks legend Cam Chancellor. And I agree with it. I look back at his highlights, and he is a hard-hitting secondary machine. And I look at the addition they recently made in the undrafted free agents. I look at Cam Alexander. I believe this man should have been taken in the draft. But this man somehow fell to the undrafted free agent signings, and so did Isaiah Bond, which that was unknown. But my point is, the secondary is a whole lot better. The pass rush is a lot better, and they have the money right now to maybe go out there and make a big trade. Who knows? Maybe for Trey Hendrickson. Maybe not now TJ Watt, as I pulled for in the past now that he got his extension. But Seattle, I am going to tell you all this. As a Seahawks fan, I've been growing up with this team since I was a kid. Ever since I was born, all I would see was Legion of Boom. This team is reminding me of that. Now do I think now is the Legion of Boom still going to be the name for this defense? No. I'm still working on a nickname for them. But this defense is one of the best defensive units I have seen in Seattle in a long time. This defense is way better than the other defenses around the NFC West. I believe they have potential to be better than the Rams. I believe they have potential to be better than the Niners. always the Cardinals because we own them for breakfast. But when I look at the Seahawks, the defense is the main reason. The defense last year was only thriving after we got Ernest Jones. We got a whole lot better. And did you know that we had the third highest pressure rate by any NFL team in the league? Third highest pressure rate. That's crazy. And when I look at the Seahawks' depth in the defensive front, I think this defense has a lot of potential. You got Riley Mills that you just added. You got Leonard Big Cow Williams that was a big breakout star in the halfway of last season. You also got Jonathan Hankins, which he's been dealing with something. He's on non-football injury list. Maybe that's a chance for Justin Rogers to get into the starting lineup. You also got Demarcus Lawrence, who is a leader. He is a big-time leader, which it'll be interesting to see Leonard Williams and Demarcus Lawrence on the same team. And then you also got Jaron Reed and Byron Murphy, the second still there. And then when I look at the linebacker core, you got Boye Mafe, Ernest Jones, and Derek Hall. And then secondary is loaded with guys. Do you realize that Devin Witherspoon was the 10th ranked cornerback in the NFL? Do you realize that? Devin Witherspoon is an amazing guy. He is a leader. He is one of the best corner prospects we've seen in a long time. And I'm telling you all this right now. If this defense is a top 10 unit and the offense is a top 10 unit to back it up, I would not be surprised if they made it to the NFC Championship game. Now, do I expect that to happen? No. But I'm saying, if we have a top 10 unit in both categories, I believe the Seahawks have a chance. A slim chance, but a chance to make the NFC Championship game. Now, do I think they're going to make it there? No. Do I think they're better than the Eagles, Lions, or others in the league? No. Because I'm a realistic fan. I like Cowboy fans and Niners fans, if you ask me. But that's why I have the Seahawks' number one reason of winning the division next year as the defense as number one. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you guys believe the Seahawks can win the division? Let me know in the comments what you guys think down below. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, do me a big favor and smash the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Ciao for now.